Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Izabela and I'm a computer science student who wants to help you learn how to program for free from home the same way that I'm learning to in my classes. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you a little program for my Java 101 class that's going to be practicing a simple, easy switch statement. So let's get right into that program. Okay, now we can get into actually writing the program. So first thing I do want to say is I am using the IntelliJ IDE, and I only recently started using this IDE, so there are still some things that I'm getting used to and learning with it. Okay, so to begin, I have our class created here, simple calculator, and then I also have our main method here, public static void main string args. So for this program, we're going to create a calculator, and the user is going to enter two numbers and an operator. The operator is going to be a string, and that's what's going to be our case in our switch statement. So based on the operator that the user enters, we'll execute one block of code from the switch statement. Okay, so I have this import java.util.star. What that's going to allow us to do is use the scanner class to get input from the keyboard. And then I have this import java.text.star, and that's going to allow us to use the decimal formatter class. All right, so to begin, I want to create our scanner object. So I'm going to say scanner. I'm going to call it keyboard equals new scanner system.in. Okay, and similarly, I want to create our decimal formatter object. So I'm going to say decimal format. I'm going to call this one formatter equals new decimal format. And then in quotes here, I want to put our format. So I'm going to say 0. pound pound. And what that's going to do is the ones digit here is going to be mandatory. And then if there are up to 2 decimal places, those will be displayed. But if there are none, then none of them will be displayed. Okay, after that, I'm going to do a little intro telling the user what the program's going to be doing. So I'm going to say system.out.println. This program is a simple calculator. Now, it's always just a good idea to give the user a little intro about what your program is going to be doing. Okay, now we can start asking for some input. The first thing I'm going to ask for is the first number, so I'm going to say system.out.println. Please enter the first number. And then I'm going to call it a double because we don't know if they'll be doing decimal points or not. Number one equals keyboard.next double. Okay, next thing that I want to do is I want to get the operator from the user. However, we are going to be storing the operator as a string. Previously, before we got the operator, we just got this double number 1. So what happened was the user will type in their number and then they'll press enter. Now the enter key will not be stored in number 1. The enter key is going to be waiting in what's called the buffer. So if we were to immediately call the next line function and try to get a string, then that enter key that's waiting in the buffer would go into that string and we wouldn't be able to type in any input. So what we need to do is we need to clear the buffer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say keyboard.nextLine and not store that enter key in any variable. That's going to clear our buffer. So now we can get the operator. System.out.println. Please enter the operator. And then to be extremely clear, I'm going to put the operators plus, minus, multiplication, and division. Okay, now we can have string operator equals keyboard.nextLine. All right, now our final input that we need is the second number. So I'm going to say system.out.println. Please enter the second number. And then we'll have double number 2 equals keyboard.nextDouble. All right, at this point, we've gotten all of our input from the user and we can make our switch statement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say switch operator and then an opening bracket. Okay, so basically our switch operator here, this is like the condition that we're checking. So then we have case plus. So that's like essentially saying check the operator. If the operator is plus, then execute these lines of code that we're going to have in here. We're going to have system.out.println, and we want to say formatter.format number1 plus plus formatter.format number2 plus equals plus formatter.format number1 plus number2. Okay, so this is a very long line of code, but that's okay for the purpose of this program. Now, each time we execute a case, that case will keep executing all of the blocks of code below it, even if they're in a different case, until it hits a break. So we need to put a break once we want that case to stop executing. Now, normally breaks aren't good to use in programming, but they are necessary in a switch statement. So another thing I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to just copy this whole block of code. Normally, again, that isn't something that we'd typically be doing, but for the case of this program, it makes our programming a lot more simple. So now I'm going to change these signs to minuses. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the other signs. So we have a minus, then we have multiplication, and multiplication, and multiplication, and then finally we have division. Division, divide there, and then divide here. Okay, so really that should be it for our program at this point. The last thing that I want to do is I want to run it and make sure that everything looks good and works the way that we want it to. So we have this program is a simple calculator. Please enter the first number. I'll go ahead and say 100. Please enter the operator. We'll do multiplication. And then please enter the second number. I'll just do 4. Okay, so 100 times 4 equals 400. Perfect, that's exactly what we wanted. All right, so this program worked good. Everything looks the way that we want it to, so that's going to be it for this program, and that's going to be it for this video then. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, stay tuned. I'll have more programming tutorials just like this one coming out soon, so be sure to check in and watch those. Thank you for watching.